This week in the crypto markets, we don't just have new all-time highs, which right now we're at 107K Bitcoin, which is just absolutely ridiculous. But you know what this means. When Bitcoin starts ripping, altcoins slow down a little bit. But this gives you a great opportunity to load up before the next altcoin leg up. So we'll talk about various altcoins that I'm super bullish on in this video. Lots of developments and what I truly believe to be the altcoin stimulation event of 2024 with the Pengu token launch. So you have about 24 hours until that goes live. We're going to prep you for that, where the liquidity could flow, as well as my favorite altcoins to stack during this Bitcoin dominant period. Let's dive right into it, guys. Like the video and subscribe to the channel down below. For every single week, we update you on gaming, AI, metaverse is coming back with Wilder World. We have meme coins. So check it out down below. Like the video and subscribe as well. Shout out to all of our sponsors here on In the Game. We have some incredible sponsors from Medieval Empires to FUNZ Kick Start BONUS, Moon Tropica, FOMO, Ledger. The list goes on, as well as all of our exchange partners in the link in the description down below. And I want to give a big shout out to our sponsors, FUNZ Kick Start BONUS. If you're not already in the Lucky Funatic's Telegram game, drop down below. There's weekly rewards being distributed every single week in this ecosystem, gearing up towards January, where they're going to be giving away $100,000 in prizes every single month for players and competitors in these different events. And we have a special event coming up here for In the Game and the Banter fam. So for anyone looking to drop down, get some pre-TGE rewards as well. The 𝗕𝗫𝗀 token will be going live, I think it's sometime Q1 2025, and all of your activity inside this ecosystem credits you towards the upcoming token. So airdrops are a big thing right now. If you're looking to get ahead of the game and maybe earn yourself a 𝗕𝗫𝗀 airdrop, join the Lucky Funatic's Telegram game down below and start playing and winning prize pools today. Now, let's dive right into it, guys. Obviously, we see Bitcoin ripping today. Bitcoin's up 3.96% on the daily. And then we look at the weekly here. Bitcoin is up 9% on the week. And when you're at 100K, 9% gain is crazy for a weekly time period. And what is really causing this? Well, Trump had been talking about the Bitcoin strategic reserve, and that looks like it is actually happening. So right now, the stock to flow model projecting Bitcoin at over $800,000 by next year. And, Saylor's always like overly bullish, but at the same time, Saylor's really not been wrong, like his thesis throughout the time periods, but an 800K price point would be unreal. But I would agree with some of these comments. Like, I think that would be a next cycle thing, and something we also have to keep our eyes on. With Bitcoin rocketing like this on the daily, there's not going to be as much altcoin gains. Like, some of the altcoins are up 4%, 5%, some altcoins up 10, 15%. Hyperliquid, for example, this token is a machine. Like, this thing has gone nothing but up since it launched. We have Sentry, literally my most undervalued infrastructure play, up 28% on the daily. So lots of good things still happening. But like we see, this is the money flow, right? Bitcoin dominance goes up. Altcoins are going to consolidate, and some of them even bleed, like go down a little bit. But when Bitcoin cools off and maybe we start ranging around these $110,000 levels, as we're sitting at like 107K right now, that's when altcoins ramp up. And that's what we just saw. We were hovering between 98 and 103K for, I would say, it felt like, a couple of weeks around that 100K level. And now we see this breakthrough in Bitcoin. Altcoins are going to slow down temporarily, but this gives you a great opportunity to stack up on your high conviction plays before altcoins start running again. So I want to go over through this market. Foremost, let's get started with Avalanche. Now you can see my Avalanche pillow in the background. I'm super bullish on Avalanche, and today they announced probably one of their biggest announcements in history. They just raised that $250 million locked round, which gives them lots of capital to deploy into initiatives like this. The Avalanche 9000 is live on mainnet. Now, this is speeding up the network. It's making the network more efficient. It's making builders want to flock to this network. And I've been talking about it. Avalanche has become, in my opinion, hand in hand with Ronin as far as the top gaming overall blockchain at this moment in time. The quality of games, the way you can build your own L1s on the network. Like Ronin has the players and the longevity so far, but I mean, Avalanche, you cannot dispute what's going on here. And big players like Beam, another one of my absolute favorite bags. If we go look down on the charts here, let's find Beam, as Beam has also just been rocketing over the last couple of weeks. And if we look at the weekly here, it got as high as 4 cents on the weekly, taking a little bit of a dip here, but up 54% on the month. Beam is utilizing this Avalanche 9000 technology for their layer 1. So they've had their chain kind of operating in the background, mostly in test environments, but introducing the Beam layer 1, which unlocks the Beam nodes. And if you see here, it's built on Avalanche technology, which will evolve into a layer 1 blockchain after the 𝗏𝗏 upgrade. We're gaining independence while continuing to leverage Avalanche's robust infrastructure, a true milestone for the ecosystem. So it allows you these AVAX subnets with Avalanche 9000 and the 𝗏𝗏 upgrade. You're able to build what you need. You're able to interconnect seamlessly, so that interoperability layer, as well as operate without heavy validator costs. This empowers the Beam nodes. And so Beam nodes are coming up right around the corner. We'll talk about another ecosystem that's crushing it as far as their node keys, but Beam nodes, as you can see here, are going live in, I think, the next week on the 17th of December. So literally tomorrow, you're going to be able to jump in and get some of these Beam nodes. I will be participating in this as well. And it's a great time because like I haven't been bullish on node sales in quite a long time, but this right here, alongside with the 𝗧𝗢 tiny Sentry keys, which we'll talk about literally coming up next, this is really changing the narrative because you have projects with massive treasuries, with lots of games building on them, with resources beyond, any of these other ecosystems that have put out node sales. To me, Beam and 𝗧𝗢, they make so much sense as far as a node ecosystem. And you're going to be able to earn rewards in Beam, 𝗟𝗘𝗟𝗟𝗏, Sentry, and Saga, which for me, I'm bullish on Beam, 𝗟𝗘𝗟𝗟, and Sentry. So that, this is a match made in heaven. On tomorrow's video, we'll dive deeper into the nodes, exactly how they work, and if you should be minting or not. I'm going to be grabbing some, but I will talk more about that on tomorrow's video. And all of these developments going on with Beam is lining up. I mean, I think Beam, if we look at the watch list here, I think it goes to 10 cents this cycle easily, like a 3x from here at least. That would put its fully diluted market cap at $6 billion. But I wouldn't be surprised to see a 5x, like a $10 billion fully diluted market cap. That would put us around 15 cents on Beam. And look, whales think the same thing. $6.7 million Beam buy this last week. Someone snapped up 189.5 million Beam tokens for $6.7 million. And they're actually underwater right now. It's at 3.5 cents. So if you want to front run the whales and get a better price than this huge $6.7 million buy this last week, you have that opportunity right now. And Bitcoin's giving us this opportunity as we're trending sideways. So that's a great update. We see whales accumulating Beam. We have the Beam layer 1. We have the Beam nodes. And all of this is thanks in part to the Avalanche 𝗏𝗏 upgrade, the Avalanche 9000 mainnet. So a big shout out to Avalanche and Beam and all ecosystem participants of Avalanche. I think benefit from this. Playable games, Domi Online, the upcoming launches for Off the Grid, MapleStory, Shrapnel just got a new CEO. Avalanche is really cooking behind the scenes, so I'm excited to see where this goes from here. Of course, we have the 𝗧𝗢 Games tiny Sentry key sale. They have sold over 60,000 keys in just 24 hours, 9,000 unique Sentry key holders. And look, they gave out $290 million in rewards in their first round of Sentry keys. Their games are top notch. Riftstorm was leading the Steam charts. You have Valeria Games, an amazing game, an amazing team. Lost Glitches, very solid. You have Planet X, which looks to be like the hyper futuristic looking I would say CSGO kind of hybrid. There's a lot of CSGO pros playing this game at this moment in time. So a big shout out to 𝗧𝗢. I still think, and they're still at one of the lower tiers because they're selling so many at lower prices. This is a no-brainer to me at like $100 a node or less, you're going to break even on those with the airdrops that they have lined up pretty easily, in my opinion. So 𝗧𝗢 tiny Sentry key nodes still at a very good level. And if we go look at the 𝗧𝗢 token price, let's go see here, 32 cents. It's actually down 11% this week. I think this is a pretty good opportunity. And just like Beam, I think I see a 5x from here. I could totally see 𝗧𝗢 hovering around $1.50 around the peak of this cycle. And of course, guys, I give conservative predictions on this channel. If my token's 50x, of course I'll be happy. But I'm not going to tell you and sit here like the average YouTuber Moon Boy who just wants to, give hopium to you. I'm not aiming for 50x's on my bags. If my bags around the clock, like just my entire portfolio, if each bag 3, 5, 10x's, I'm happy. And then I'll leave some in for that upside to see which ones do hit that inevitable 50, 100x. Give you conservative picks here and conservative predictions, because I want to make sure we're all taking profits at optimal levels of this market. So I say 𝗧𝗢 or Beam could 5x. They could absolutely 10 or 15x. We just have to be careful and make sure that we're taking profits along the way. And look, this cycle is going to get crazy. I think the targets have to be raised with, the Bitcoin strategic reserve, everything going on with just the entire ecosystem, what we're seeing with meme coins, the developments in AI and gaming coins. This cycle is going to get crazy and we just have to prepare for that. But the big winner over the last couple of days has undoubtedly been Sentry. Sentry sitting at 3.5 cents. It's finally getting that movement that I think it deserves. I mean, their games are making revenue every single day. They just came out with their Nexus update, which is giving you the different ways, to kind of earn and accumulate points in this gamified AI agent style ecosystem. So it's now merging gaming and AI. I mean, we're up 28% on the day on Sentry. On the weekly chart, we're up 36%. And then on the monthly chart, we're looking at a 61% gain on Sentry. And they're not done shipping updates. First and foremost, I can tell you right away, Sentry has a massive campaign coming up where they're going to be pushing marketing like crazy. They're going to be coming up with updates. I think you're going to see a lot more people start to take notice of what Sentry is doing. And they're teasing out these, looks like a Ruby or something like that, or, like a Sentry token or something, a question mark here. So something is coming up in the Sentry ecosystem to keep our eyes on. But this has undoubtedly been the biggest winner of the last week. So a big shout out to anyone out there who, it was a tough time. If we're holding Sentry, the market really just took a dip around these levels. And at that time period, when they rebranded this coin, it just wasn't very clear in the market. But this thing got as low as 1 cent and now is sitting at 3.5 cents. So shout out to anyone who had conviction here. And I really think we're going to break through these local all-time highs ever since the rebrand, probably over the next month or two. So that is something I am looking at as far as Sentry. We have Xborg, covering, they started this fair launch meta, the fair launch meta that we've seen with Super Champs, with Carve. We're talking about, obviously, with Xborg, with Seed World. All these different projects have come to market, fully vested, no inside, no VC whale dumps at the beginning of these tokens. Those tokens just bleed out. Stuff like Portal, for example, is nothing but down price action since they launched because they extracted big VC money, and those VCs and early investors are up so much they're just dumping the token. Whereas Xborg really went against the grain, no centralized exchanges, fair launch, community pre-sale. They're partnered up with Team Liquid, raised $5 million pre-sale. All of those people are in profit. They launched the token their own way against all odds. And as you can see here, they're kind of teasing their 2025 roadmap. This is another one that I just truly think, if we go find Xborg here, sitting at 65 million on the circulating market cap, this to me could catch up to something like a 𝗧𝗢 in current market cap, which would be about a 5x from here. That would put the diluted at about $1.5 billion. I think Xborg has the recipe to get there. So this is the time period. Reason I'm going over all of these updates, and I update you on everything we see across the market every show, is this is the time now to be like, okay, altcoins are kind of consolidating. Which ones do I want to add to my bag? Because once this Bitcoin run comes to a slowing, I'm not going to say comes to an end, but slows down a little bit. I mean, Bitcoin's up 17% on the 30-day time period. So what we're seeing with altcoins, this is still the warm-up. And as much as we all want to say we're early, I wouldn't say we're early in the ball game, but I'd say we're in the first half of the game at this point in time. So I think we have so much left in this run. And when Bitcoin starts consolidating, then you're going to see these coins, the Beams, the Sentrys, the 𝗧𝗧𝗢𝗍, the Superverses start just ripping upside again, because that's what happens in this market when the dominance goes down. Bitcoin dominance is at 56.5% as of today. So we're looking at a pretty Bitcoin dominant market. Once that tapers off again, we're going to see altcoins start to run like we just saw. A lot of altcoins are up crazy numbers this month, and I think that will resume in the coming weeks. Let's continue here. We have Wilder World teasing something on December 21st. And Wilder World, big shout out to everyone on this channel. We've been buying Wilder World since 20 cents. And then just last week, Alex Becker put on his video that he has recently bought a bag of Wilder World. Wilder World is catching eyes of the biggest influencers in the entire crypto scene. No matter what you think, like Becker dominates the market when it comes to YouTube, and he just recently bought a bag of Wilder World. So he's taking notice of what's going on here. So once again, we front ran that narrative. We front ran that at 20 cents on this coin. Best open world game and metaverse in the entire crypto space. This has been a major win. And now, I'm aiming for $1 billion. I think we can 3x from here, put us around $3. That is what I am looking at in the short term. And then what is going to stimulate all of this action? Is liquidity into the market for these types of things to pump? Well, of course, we have the biggest liquidity catalyst of the year with the 𝗪𝗪𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 $5 billion range over the first week of trading. I don't see how a cultural icon like 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀😓 launches their token tomorrow, which, by the way, is immediately on Binance. To me, this deserves $5 billion right off the jump. If it's under $5 billion, I'm a buyer. I will buy 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 token if it's under $5 billion, because I think that's where it rightfully deserves on launch. It brings together culture, NFTs, crypto. Like, it has every single thing you need from a coin in this market. But the big thing is communities that are partnered with 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗀𝗀𝗧, the abstract elite Chad roles, the different coins and NFTs that qualify for these NFT airdrops. You're going to see Penguin, if it's $1 billion, each Penguin is going to get $23,000. If it's $5 billion, which is my target, each Penguin holder is going to get $117,000 airdropped. It is airdrop season right now. We saw Hyperliquid change lives. We're seeing stuff like Magic Eden do very well and change lives as well for anyone who had a massive airdrop there. And now 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗀𝗪𝗔𝗀𝗪𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 ecosystem. There will be people who go back and buy more penguins to support the project because they're up so much, or the people that hold 50 penguins are about to make a crazy bag. But a lot of this money is going to flow into the altcoins that we just talked about, the beams, the supers, the avalanches, the Sentrys, etc. So that's what I'm seeing in this market. While Bitcoin is so dominant at this moment in time, that will slow down, and this money right here will inject right into altcoins and potentially other NFT collections. And some things we could also look forward to is OpenSea. Most people are speculating there's going to be an OpenSea token airdrop, so that would be beneficial for me and everyone who's been a participant in the space, especially in NFTs for the last 3 years. So I'm looking forward to see what this new OpenSea that they're teasing is, and it's a wait list. To me, this is absolutely to do with a token launch. And then we see Moonray, a game that has just been building for quite some time. They're going on console early year. They're on Epic Games right now. They'll be on mobile soon. Their token, MNRY, is launching on Bybit on the 18th of this month. And I mean, they just announced they closed their $10 million funding round with Animoca brands, Polygon, 𝗏𝗏, Cardano. Yes, Cardano. It has pumped recently, at least. It's not as much of a joke as it once was. But Moonray, I'm really excited to see how this token performs because this team is one of the best that I've personally worked with or spoken to in all of crypto gaming, and their game is just legitimately fun. So I'm excited to see how this performs on launch, especially in a market where raises and launches have been very fruitful. And then the long-awaited 𝗥𝗫𝗄𝗃 token. So overworld holders, if you've been holding an overworld 𝗛𝗏𝗀 for the last 12 months, you're probably underwater, even if you didn't mint, if you bought secondary. Their first wave of token rewards for the 𝗛𝗏𝗀 collection is on the way. So you're going to be getting an airdrop of the 𝗥𝗫𝗄𝗃 token if you hold overworld NFTs. So if you missed out on Hyperliquid, if you missed out on Pudgy Penguins, if you missed out on Magic Eden, you still have time to potentially get involved with some of these other airdrops. And we've been prepping you guys for some of the biggest airdrops of the cycle with Super Champs, which is now at $100 million valuation, Infinigods, which is coming up right around the corner. We have Overworld here. If you just hold an NFT, you're going to get a token airdrop here. And then on top of that, OpenSea. OpenSea has the chance to make the biggest comeback in all of crypto history if they inject enough capital for their airdrop, which I think they'll do everything they can to recapture market share from Blur, Magic Eden, all those different types of marketplaces. So I'm excited to see what happens there. But that's what I'm seeing in this market right now. Now is another time to rebalance, okay? Some of your bags may have pumped ridiculous over the last couple of weeks. And look, bags did pump ridiculous. Hyperliquid's up 700%. Super Champs is up 600%. Agents AI, we called out here, up 300%. Wilder World's up 280% this month. AI Arenas, Neuron is up 200% this month. So Altura, Xborg, Node AI, all up 100%. So now's the time, while Bitcoin is dominating once again, to go look at your portfolio and say, am I comfortable sitting in the positions that I'm in? Maybe a bag got a little too big based off your risk tolerance. That might be the time to go in there and simply trim a little bit of that position. Now is the time to rebalance and allocate into the altcoins for the next leg up, which is inevitable with this Bitcoin price action. So guys, like the video down below, subscribe to the channel. That's what I'm seeing, and that's what I'm personally doing. I'm gonna shift around some of my bags to line up with the narratives that I see unfolding, and right now, gaming is center stage. I mean, you see just the sheer amount of updates. The videos, I'm usually doing 14-minute videos or so on the market, because of how hot gaming is and the amount of news coming from all the top projects. Like, we just basically had news on this Monday show for every single top project. I think the only one we didn't really have big news for are Superverse or Ronin, but I know that they're going to have big announcements coming this week as well. So stay tuned to the channel, like the video, and subscribe down below, and prepare for this next altcoin rally, maybe a Santa Claus rally. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys on the next one. As always, play well, my friends, and of course, stay bullish, my friends.